Hi guys, this is Nick Gregan, a headshot photographer in London, and today I want to talk to you about 7 things you should never do at your headshot session. So the first thing is turn up late. Now, it sounds obvious, but it's amazing how many people turn up late. What happens when you turn up late? Well, often you get a bit stressed. You can be agitated, and when you arrive at the studio, it's not a great way to arrive, and it might take you 10, 15, 20 minutes to settle down a little bit. And first of all, the 10 minutes you arrive late are cutting into your session. And also, the extra time to settle down cuts into your session. So before you can even start to take photographs, you're using up a fair amount of your session. And also, it's quite disrespectful to the photographer. So, number 1, make sure you turn up on time. In fact, if you can, turn up 15 minutes early. It's always the best way to do it. Gives you a chance to settle down and collect your thoughts before you start your session. Second thing you should never do, load your problems onto your photographer. I can't tell you how many times people arrive at the studio and the first thing they do is start complaining about the way their career's going, the way their agent's treating them, the travel conditions, or even in some cases, how their personal life is going with their partner. Do you know something? It's not a great way to start a session. And I'm a photographer, I'm not a therapist, and I'm not qualified to give you advice on those sort of things. So don't cheese me off with all your problems. Turn up with a good frame of mind and a positive frame of mind. Leave all your problems outside the studio door. Thirdly, don't take your headshot session too lightly. Make sure you do your preparation. Make sure you know how to get to the studio, how long it's going to take you. Make sure you know what you're going to wear and the kind of shots you're ready to take. I mean, don't go overboard and put too much pressure on yourself about these sessions. They are headshots, and the headshots, they are your main marketing tool, but don't put too much pressure on it. Equally so, take this headshot session seriously, because your headshots can open doors for you and help your career, move your career on. So that's point number 3. Point number 4, sounds crazy, but it's amazing how many people do this. Don't get your hair cut on the morning of the session. It's amazing how many people do it, and amazing how many people turn up at the session unhappy with the way their hair is either coloured or cut. I've seen people turn up with fringes that are not quite right, and pieces keep hanging down, keep bothering them. And all they're concerned about then is how their hair looks, and they're not focusing totally on getting a great headshot. So, if you're going to have your hair cut for your session, do it 3 or 4 or 5 days in advance. It gives you a chance for your hair to settle down. If you really don't like your hair, it gives you a chance to call the photographer and reschedule your session. And it's just common sense. Point number 5, don't look different to how you normally do. Now, it sounds easy, but a lot of people don't take notice of this. Don't think about going for a really highly stylized headshot if it's not you. Remember, the number 1 complaint from casting directors is when an actor walks into the audition room and they don't look like their photograph they submitted. So if you normally have a beard, have your photograph taken with a beard. If you normally have long hair, don't get it cut before the audition. And don't go crazy with your makeup. That applies to the guys as well as the women. Number 6, don't expect the headshot photographer to do it all themselves. I can't tell you how many times people walk into the studio and say to me, well, you're the headshot photographer. You know the kind of headshots I want. You choose the headshots I'm going to use. Well, this is a big responsibility for somebody you don't really know that well. Admittedly, I do know current trends and I do know what headshots work for people, but it's not really my decision. My job is to deliver you great headshots, and then for you or your agent to choose the headshots you want to use. Occasionally, I will offer advice and say to people, perhaps you should think about using a different headshot. But that's only from my opinion. So, put a bit of thought in before you turn up to your session and do some research, the kind of shots that perhaps worked for you in the past, or the kind of headshots that are working and current at the moment, and have headshots that are shot for those particular reasons. And finally, I alluded to it earlier on, don't overdo your makeup. If you're the sort of person who wears a full face of makeup every day before you leave the house, then fine. That's how you should have your headshot done. because that's how you'll turn up at the audition. If you don't do it. And some people go the whole hog and employ a professional makeup artist. This is not always a good idea because they do the makeup in a professional way, not the way that you can do it, not the way you can do it quickly. And if you turn up at the audition not looking like your headshot, it doesn't go well for you. So remember, casting directors want to see the real you. They want to see the real you with personality. So express your personality, make sure you connect with the viewer and show some emotion in your headshot, and then it guarantees you're going to have a much better result. Anyway, I hope you found this useful. If you did, please leave a comment below or go to my website, nickgregan.com, and where my blog is, and you'll see lots of videos, articles with lots of information about headshots. And also, I've written a great book called The Headshot Bible, 50 Tips for a Perfect Headshot. And this is the only book that takes actors in a step-by-step way through the process of how to get the perfect headshot. And I can guarantee that if you read that book and follow the steps in that book, you will get a fantastic eye-catching headshot. We will really, really catch the eye casting directors. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, guys, and thanks for watching. Look out for the next one coming soon. Cheers, thanks, bye.